Causeway family. This is Allison Gilliard with Run Your Story, where every story needs to be heard. And get ready to run with Jodi Blohme. Absolutely an amazing individual. She is so stinking inspiring, guys. I knew it was going to be great. I knew she's amazing. I actually got to meet Jodi last year at Bras Across the Causeway. That's how we got connected, and we have followed each other on social media since, and I loved getting to talk with her. Her story is so good. Her mantra, active against cancer, has even continued on to this day, that no matter what you're going through, to be active, and how running was there for her through her cancer journey. Not only for her, but for her husband, Panini Pete. Love that. And I will say this, she said in the podcast that he's not a runner, but actually after hearing her speak, you kind of think, Pete, I think you're a runner, buddy. I think you just need to accept it. I love how she shares about, and you guys are going to hear this, about how he was there to run with her for her race. And I absolutely think that is such a great support system right there. And absolutely such a joyous group of the Blohme family. Like, they're just amazing. And Jodi, you are an incredible individual. I absolutely loved getting to know you more and to hear your story and just who you are as a person. And just thank you for advocating not only for yourself, but for everyone. And Jodi goes on to say, research is important, yes. Like, we need to have that. But we also need to take care of those that are fighting breast cancer. And there are two incredible organizations, one that helps locally and one that helps at the state level. And our locally is Bras Across the Causeway. And guys, there's no better way to introduce Bras Across the Causeway than with Jodi. She does such a phenomenal job of explaining what Kathy and the crew do at Bras Across the Causeway. Guys, hit them up and go run. Deck out all that pink. I will be doing it virtually because I'll be in Tuscaloosa with my daughter. But we will be there in spirit. We will be there cheering you guys on virtually in T-Town. And I signed up virtually. So I cannot wait to get that swag, because Bras Across the Causeway, they have a good t-shirt. It's a lot of fun. So I encourage you, even if you don't live in the Mobile area, Baldwin County area, or in the state of Alabama, go ahead. Bras Across the Causeway, guys, go find them. They help our local residents. And Strides Against Breast Cancer, they have an event coming up later this month. They help statewide. And so two incredible organizations that are doing what they can to help our warriors who are in the now, who are fighting now. And if you are a warrior fighting, I am cheering for you. And you just keep going one foot, one step, one moment at a time. As my dear friend Lisa shared last week, guys, this is such an amazing story of overcomers. And that's what Jodi is, an overcomer. So thank you, my friend. And thank you for Bras Across the Causeway and Strides Against Breast Cancer for allowing us to partner together to talk about you guys and to share more about you. Guys, get involved with them, reach out to them, and go register, whether it's for a virtual, whether it's for a sleep-in, whether it's to be there in person. Deck out in all the pink, get all the things, and let's show up and show out for our community. All right, guys, lace up those running shoes, get ready, get set, and go run with my friend Jodi and her run story. Oh, Jodi, so excited. We've been Facebook friends for a while now. Yeah. And as we talked about earlier, we met through Bras Across the Causeway last year. And so I am so excited to run a story, because what people don't know about you is that you literally go everywhere. Been a few places. Oh my gosh, you would go on the coolest adventures.
Well, yeah, live life to the fullest.
Yeah,
that's my
that.
motto. Live life to the fullest.
I love that.
Yeah.
So I don't know your run story, so I'm so excited. How does your run story begin?
All right. Well, thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here with you and be able to talk about this. But running, to me, growing up, I was a cheerleader, I was a dancer, I was not a runner. Mm-hmm. And as I was here teaching in Fairhope, coworkers would say, let's go do this color run 5K. And I was like, no, I don't run unless somebody's chasing me. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden in 2014, and that goes back a while, but 2014, I took a boot camp class, thinking I was 20, but I wasn't 20.
That's fair.
And day one, went home and thought, what have I gotten myself into? The instructor, Missy, was amazing. And then through the boot camp, she would offer us challenges. And they were just, hey, if you want to do this challenge, you do it. If you don't, you don't. And I'm one of those that when I do things, I put myself fully into it. And
I'm shocked by that.
With the boot camp. And she said, I'm going to challenge you to run a mile every day for a week. on top of whatever other workout you do. And I was like, piece of cake. And the next morning I got up and went to the boot camp and came home and was pumped up because now I get to run this mile. And I told my husband, I got to go run a mile. And he looked at me like, I'm sorry, what? I go run. And I was like, oh my gosh, how hard is it to run from here to the stop sign? And he said, that's not a mile. So my concept of distance was really off. But I got out there. Now I also live in Lake Forest neighborhood, which is hilly.
It is, yeah.
Not a good place to run. But I gave it a try. And I got out there and I had my Garmin watch on and I was like, no, I didn't even have a Garmin watch then. I was new. So I had nothing. I didn't know what I was doing. And I just was like, okay, here I go. And I start running down my street to the stop sign that I thought was a mile. And I don't think I ran longer than maybe 30 seconds, if that, before I was winded and thinking, oh my gosh, I had to run. Oh, what is this? So for that week, I decided that challenge was going to be walk with a lot of jogging.
Okay.
To figure out how do you breathe and run and pace yourself? Because I clearly thought running was like a child that gets out and chases a ball. That's not running. So it was really interesting. My husband had a good laugh when I got home and he said, how was that mile? I said, it's much further than our mailbox, or much further than the stop sign. But anyhow, so I finished the challenge successfully. I did a mile every day. It was not running, but I was determined after that. I'm going to learn to run. But I didn't know there was actually, you have to breathe and run and the pace and just everything. There was specifics. And I'm thinking, it's not like I thought it was. So I started doing that again in the fashion of, I'm going to run. And when I felt the need, which was more often than not, to walk, I would walk. And eventually there came a day where I was out and I was feeling good. The endorphins from it were like, I was feeling great. My husband would say to me when I got home, we're not all on the runner's high, so take it down a notch. And I was like so excited to be, quote, a runner. And so I continued this run walk until I was running more. And next thing you know, I ran a mile and I stopped on the corner of the street after a mile. I danced hands up in the air like Rocky. I thought, oh my gosh, this is it. I ran a mile. I'm a runner. I got this.
Yeah.
And I think people passing by probably thought she's some crazy woman on the corner, but that's okay. I learned how to run. And so from there, it was like my friends would now say, do you want to do a color run? I never did the color runs, but I started running 5Ks. I think the Crawfish Zydeco down in Gulf Shores might have been my first 5K.
Okay.
So I went down there with my friends, and then my husband showed up and surprised me at the finish line.
Stop.
Yes.
Oh.
So he knows the crazy endorphins make me wild, but it's okay. He's going to come support me. And it was just after that, it's like, wow, this really feels good. I really like it. I liked the friendships I was making. The run community is absolutely amazing. And being able to get outdoors. And it helped me a lot just with many things. If I felt stressed, I'm going to go for a run. Yeah. Too much work, I got to go for a run.
Right, yeah.
Oh, we need a vacation, we're still be a runcation. So that was like 5Ks. And then I started, let's try 10K, which was Spring Fever Chase. So I've done several of those. And that's a hilly course. Way more difficult than I thought. But I go back for it every year. And then that was at 12K.
Yes, girl.
And my good friend Kelly, she was, at this point, she had run marathons. So I was like, yeah, I'll do that. But she said, hey, let's go run together. And I was like, your pace is, like, we can't. And she said, no, we're going to be fine. When you need to stop and walk, we'll just stop and walk. And so she was so patient and kind and supportive. And she said, I think you should run a half marathon. And I was like, I think I might want to try that. And so I did. And my first half marathon was in Point Clear at the Holiday Half.
Oh.
So
Let's stick to it, girl.
So I did the Holiday Half and went out there there were a lot of coworkers doing it. And I'm not a fast runner, but I'm going to go out there and I'm going to race my pace. I'm going to do what I got to do to start to finish and be successful and happy. And I did that. And that was my first half. I come into the finish line not knowing but my husband, my daughter, my son, my daughter's friend. And they were all there at the finish line and my husband spraying me with champagne.
Oh.
So You know, I'm like, what a great first half marathon. It was much fun. I had a good time out there. It was hot.
Yeah.
And the course wasn't as exciting as I thought maybe a half marathon would be. But it's okay. I did stick with it. And I've done other ones that really have just kept me going. So I thought that's a good distance, half marathon. Half marathon and I'm done. And then, no, that's not a good distance because later on in life, I decided to attempt that marathon. And so I'm going through running in 2014. I start, say by 2018, that's when life throws that ball at me. And it's like, all right, we're going to pause for a little bit. 2018 in June, got a breast cancer diagnosis. And that was just awful, to put it kind.
Sure.
And so that was June. July, I had surgery, and I was at MD Anderson for that. Wonderful. Came back home. I turned 48 on August 20th of 2018. And the 21st, the day after my birthday, happy birthday me, I started chemo.
Wow.
And I did chemo locally here at USA Mitchell Cancer in Fairhope. Dr. Cameron's amazing oncologist. Hands down, he was phenomenal for me. And it was good. I was able to be home with my family during that. That was 12 weeks. Well, it was actually 16 treatments total, but 12 weeks every day. And so, but in my mind, I thought I could do one of two things here. I could either sit home, get depressed, let this cancer beat me, or I can keep active like I had already been doing. And I think, and I truly in my heart feel that all my activities that I was doing, from the gym, from the boot camp, from the running, that all of that was helping me be strong to get through the chemo and get through the radiation and the surgery. So I kept my motto during all of that was active through breast cancer, or active through cancer, active against cancer. And so I did that, and I kept running as much as I could.
Wow.
My doctor said, hey, you can't go to the gym because you might catch a germ and you might get sick and you'll end up in the hospital. So my husband, amazing, buys me a treadmill. He's like, here's a treadmill. Keep going. So no, he was amazing, but he's always amazing, my husband. So, and I just kept running on the treadmill as much as I could. When my body felt I could run, I ran. When I had to walk, I walked. And if I felt too sick, I couldn't do either, I was laying in bed.
Sure.
But I did keep running. And that was 2018. I did my first Bras Across the Causeway event.
Well.
And that was an emotional journey.
Oh.
Like that run, I think I started August 21st. So I was probably about 8 weeks into chemo. I was completely bald, but I had a huge support network at that run with me. I had family, I had friends. My husband was right there by my side, as he always is. And I was just like, okay, it's a 5K. I can walk this if I need to. We got out there, and of course, my husband knows she can walk this. And he is not a runner, by the way. He is not a runner. He is my complete support, but he doesn't enjoy running, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But he was at everything I did going through my cancer journey, and he was there for that event wearing a pink tutu, sporting that pink shirt, and running when I ran and walking when I walked.
Wow.
And I finished it. I will say one of the true emotional moments was before Bras Across the Causeway, they have a survival walk. And I was blown away, boo-hooing. I was wearing sunglasses because I didn't want people to see me cry. Because here I'm walking, listening to this music and thinking, I never thought I would be succeeding. It always gets me too. Oh, go to cancer. Walking as, quote, a survivor when I'm not even done with treatment. Because at that point I was like, am I a survivor? I hadn't even survived yet. I'm still fighting. So it was tough. It was tough. And it was tough for all the limbs there. But the good thing was, that kind of gave me the strength was, oh my gosh, I'm going to go run this 5K. And if I'm running this 5K, by golly, I'm a survivor. If I'm out here kicking my butt and keeping moving and keeping active, I'm a survivor. And so since then, I realized really anybody with a diagnosis of cancer, any cancer, you start treatment, you get surgery, you start your treatment. You don't wait till you finish all of that to say you're a survivor. You are a survivor from day one. You are a fighter, you are a survivor. And when all of it's said and done, ultimately, you hopefully are thriving and living life to the fullest. So I kept running during my cancer treatment. Bras Across the Causeway, Battleship 12K. I did that.
Wow.
My husband has 2 friends from Chicago, and they're both very fast runners. And they came to town, and I said, you guys, I can't run the way I used to run. I wasn't a fast runner to begin with. My pace just definitely isn't there, so I'm going to be walking this entire thing. Just go do your run. And they were like, no, that's not why we're here. We're here for you. And so we all just pushed on through. My friend Kelly was with the group, and she was helping us with the run walks, intervals. And every time her phone told her, she put her hand up and she would say, walk, run. And my husband said, will somebody please take the phone from her? Because he's like, I just want to walk.
So your husband did Battleship 12K with you?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. He said to me, if you want to run an event, I will be right there by your side.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. He said, you're not going to be doing it alone. You're going to be doing it with me and or a bunch of your friends. So we did the Battleship, finished my chemo treatment, 12 weeks. It was every week, and then I had a week off, and then it was every other week for 4 treatments of the hardest part. Very hard chemo drug. They call it the Red Devil. It's a red liquid that they have to push in very slowly. It's called AC, but it's a tough drug, and it knocked me down. So I would say that was in November at Thanksgiving time. And I'd say November, December, I don't think I was running. I think I might have done the Hank Aaron lights.
Oh, lights, yeah, they don't
I
have
think
that
I did
anymore.
that because I was completely bald in that picture. So that had to be in November sometime. So that was a 5K, and Pete went and did that with me. But then I went through a month off after I finished all my chemo. And in January of 2019, we went out to Texas again, and I did my radiation there. So I lived out there for a month. And during that time, we had this great little apartment we rented. And downstairs, they had an amazing little gym. So they had a water massage bed. So that was a daily for me.
Okay.
They had treadmills and weights and everything. And so my husband and I would go down there, and we would get on the treadmill or whatever we wanted to do. Because ultimately, Jodi, who doesn't stop, found a couple of runs to do in Texas, of course. And I would like, hey, we could run in Texas. So in 2019, out there doing radiation treatment, and I signed us up for the hot chocolate 5K.
Fun. Okay.
That's
They have
all.
great swag.
Oh my gosh. The
Yeah.
hot chocolate in a bowl, dipping your banana in there. This is good stuff. And then after that, Houston, Texas has a huge rodeo in February. It's all month. It literally is all month. And there's big concerts, and there's big food events, and there's a big carnival, and it's huge. And they do a big race.
Of
And
course
if
they
you've
do.
never been to Houston for the rodeo race, look it up, go out there, go with a bunch of people, because you're going to be with over probably 10,000 people.
Wow.
It's probably one of the largest runs I'd ever attended.
Man.
Massive. And so my husband and I did the 5K there, and it was, yeah, it was crazy. I pushed myself, like I said, active against cancer. I finished my radiation, I guess it was at the end of February. And the end of February, came home, and I did the Spring Fever 10K in March. And it was crazy because I did that Spring Fever 10K. I didn't know many people running it that year, but my one friend Wanda was running it. And I remember she got ahead of me because I'm doing what I can do at this point. I just
Yeah.
finished radiation. I was exhausted, but you know what? I'm going to celebrate. This is my celebratory run. And she stopped, I think, at mile 3 and waved for me. And from that point, we ran the rest of the race together and finished together. And it was really a huge thing because it was like, wow, I just finished all my cancer treatment. I'm running a 10K. Active against cancer is the way to be, and I still got it.
Yeah.
Celebrated, had a great day, went home, passed out, exhausted. And I told my husband after that, I said, I think I'm going to take a break. And so it was March of 2019 where I said, whew, my body needs to recover a little bit. So I gave it the break it needed, and then I got right back at it and continued picking up. Okay, I'm going to start running again. I'm going to do the 5Ks, the 10Ks, back to the halves. And then I started Disney runs. That's a holy word. Like Aladdin, a holy world, there you go. But, and then that's when I decided I want to run a marathon. What's that like? And my daughter said, Mom, if you're going to run a marathon, do it in Disney, the happiest place on earth. and you have never run one, so you have no time to beat.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, it's that point.
Yeah.
Did my research on the Disney Marathon life and training and was like, well, I think I'm going to give this a go. I tried the Disney races already, so I knew what I was getting myself into. The 2 a.m. wake-up call, get on the bus at 3, stand around for 2 hours before you run. Kind of bizarre, but it's fun.
Yeah.
And we pay for it.
Yeah.
Clearly. But yeah, so I decided, all right, I'm going to do this. So in 2022, I wanted to do it when I was 50. And my body still wasn't back, sure, from all my treatment. And I said, I can't. So anyhow, in 2022, I was like, I think I'm ready to start training for this. And I was following a plan that told me how many miles to run. And okay, I can do this, I can do this. And then the long run. And that was killing me. It felt like a second job. Oh, like,
How was that?
and I didn't have anybody out there feeding me. So it was like stopping off here and there and finding my way. So anyhow, but I did it. It was crazy because we had some serious cold weather in the winter. So the marathon at Disney is in January. So here I am training in 2022 for the marathon in January 23. And we had some serious cold days when my schedule said, you need to get out and run 20 miles. And I was like, I can't get out and run 20 miles in this weather. So basically, I just was like, all right, the treadmill's going to have to be it. And at this point, I didn't know what it would be like on a treadmill for 20 miles. And now I can say it's not fun.
No, it's not. Yeah. Yes, as someone that did her marathon on a treadmill, it's not fun.
No.
Yeah.
Well, then my training plan keeps going. And all of a sudden, the last training long run has me running 26. And I'm like, but that's a marathon. Why am I running a marathon before I run a marathon?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, but I'm a real follower. You can ask Pete. He will tell you. I won't even cross the street illegally. I go the crosswalk. He goes illegal. It must be the teacher in me. I don't know. So basically, for that training, I decided I'm following it to a T. And again, it was a freezing, bitter cold day out. And Pete was not around. He was out of town. So I was like, okay, I have 2 dogs at home. Got on the treadmill, turned on the movie, and had my tray stacked with my snacks of what I needed, my fuel, everything. I will say, marathon on the treadmill. It wasn't fun, but I got it done.
Yeah, yeah.
I will say there's some bonuses to a marathon on a treadmill. I needed the bathroom and it was clean.
There it is. Yes.
It was well stocked. My stash of hydration and fuel was plentiful. And I called my dogs my character stops. They would come in and visit me, and I said, you're my character stops like at Disney. So it made my day. And I watched, I don't know, 5 movies, something like that. I had stopped numerous times with the BioFreeze and BioFreeze my leg. But I did it. And after I did it, I was like, okay, I did it. If I can do it on the treadmill, I could do it in person. And then I think the next run I did after that on the treadmill, I think I went to the Mississippi half. It was a last minute, this is the last race that's before the Disney Marathon. Let me go get in a half. And I had done it already. So I was like, I like all of it in Mississippi except the ramp. But it's okay.
Yeah.
So I signed up 2 days before the race, booked a hotel, went over one night, did it. Was like, okay. And I was talking to a lady on the bus, and she says, we were talking about marathons, half marathons, and she's run a lot of marathons. And I was like, oh, I'm training for my first. And she said, oh, really? When is it? I said, oh, it's in January. She's like, oh, you ready? And I said, well, I just finished my last training run, which took me to a full distance marathon. And I did it on a treadmill because it was freezing cold. And she looked at me and she said, you did it on a treadmill. What do? It's cold out.
Yeah.
So she said, well, if you could do a marathon on a treadmill, you're going to be fine on marathon day. And went to Disney in January 2023 and did that marathon. And again, raced it at my pace. Got a little excited going through the marathon. You know, it's Disney. There's a lot of pomp and circumstance. And there was this mariachi band playing this awesome, fun music. And I decide it's mile 4. I stop and I start walking, but now I start dancing. And I feel my hip tweak.
Oh.
And I ran, oh, I'm not here to dance. I'm here to run. And I think I just messed up my hip.
Oh.
So I start walking and I'm babying it. And then I start jogging a little bit. And I'm like, oh, it's not too bad. Okay, it's good. I'm not going to dance anymore. No more dancing, keep running. So then I start running again, and I don't know, it was about mile 15. Something starts acting up in my foot, where literally I can't put my right foot flat. And so I'm running tiptoe on my right and regular on my left. Then I'm stopping and biofreezing my foot. I had a personal biofreeze in my leggings. Then that got better. So it was a couple of little hiccups during the marathon, but overall I finished.
Yeah.
My husband, my son, my daughter were at the finish line. No champagne,
No, too bad. Okay.
but it's okay. It was a wonderful finish.
You got a really cool medal.
Great medal, great hat. I didn't know they gave you a pair of ears.
Oh, okay.
And it says marathon finisher on it.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I had all these envisions after that marathon, like, I'm going to have energy. I didn't have much energy.
You danced it all off. Different.
I went to the hotel, I got in a tub, and I did an ice bath while everybody else slept. And then I said, we have to go to the parks because I have to get pictures with my medal. Because I'm at Disney and I leave tomorrow. And so we did, and we go into the Magic Kingdom. I got pictures with Mickey right away, and then Fabulous, and a picture in front of the castle, but we ate dinner, and I looked at my family and I said, I need to go back to the hotel. I'm so tired. I got passed out. It was exhausting, but it was an amazing experience. I could check the box. I ran a marathon.
Yeah.
My husband said, you're a marathoner. And I said, well, I've done one. He said,
You're a marathon.
you're a marathoner. And I said, okay. And then I thought, I think that's it for the marathon. But funny enough, I have this little voice in my head. It's real small, like a grain of rice, that says to me, I wonder what it's like to run a marathon that's not Disney and doesn't have the character stops. Like, I wonder if my time would be better. Do you see?
If I didn't stop to dance.
So there's the competitiveness with myself, because I will tell you, I stopped for every character possible. And honestly, the lines were not long at Disney. I was surprised. So I took advantage of it. And I just said, this is going to be the most fun marathon experience. And until I entered Epcot, about 2 miles from the finish line, where I looked over and I saw the character Jafar standing there, and I went, I'm done. I'm not coming for you, Jafar. I want the finish line. And I pushed on through to get to that finish line, because at that point I was like, is this going to end?
Wait, I've seen enough characters. I'm done.
So I think if I did a non-Disney marathon, I think maybe it'd be good to do it with some people who'd be going, who'd be motivated, fun. But the grain of rice is real small. That's a small thing saying in my head. So right now, I'm just happy with 5K, 10Ks, the Battleship 12K, the half marathon. I think the half distance for me, lengthwise, is like such a sweet, it's a sweet spot for me. It's like I get in enough. You do that first 10K, you're like 10K left and I'm done.
Yeah.
So it's just a good distance. So that's in a nutshell my running story.
I love that. Wow.
Yeah.
Not only because I've been there where running from my front door to my mailbox was not something I could do, like literally. And it's so easy to get discouraged. And why so many people are like, nope, this is not for me. But you were like, you know what? I'm going to keep going. I'm just going to find a better way to do this. And I'm actually going to learn to run. I think that is so cool. And then obviously, thank you so much for sharing your story about how running kept you going, even in the midst of the hardest fight of your life.
It definitely did. It definitely did. I truly think when I got that diagnosis of breast cancer, I was the most fit in my life at that point. And I thought, why is this happening to me? Where here I am working out. I was going to the Y or going to Orange Theory here in Daphne, great places, running, doing the boot camp, eating as healthy as one could. You think, well, I'm eating healthy. Yeah. Did I eat a few sweets? Sure. But come on.
Yeah.
Just trying to live my life.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden you get this diagnosis. So I was like, okay, I'm pretty thin. I feel like I'm strong. And I just told my husband, I said, I got this. I'm going to beat this. I'm going to keep active against cancer. And he said, I'm right by your side.
Literally.
If you're running, I'm running. And I was like, okay.
That's amazing.
And he did. And he did. And he ran with me. We did the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer in Mobile. Raised funds for that. I had a huge support network. I was going through my breast. That was 2018. And I had coworkers show up, family come into town for that event, and everybody wore, we were called the Jaywalkers.
Oh.
That's our team name. So we were called the Jaywalkers. We ordered shirts, and everybody put all their shirts on and wore their pink and got in Mobile, and we walked that event and raised money for breast cancer that year. I did it the following year as well. It's just important. It's spreading awareness, helping get the funding for additional research. And then you have Bras Across the Causeway, which to me is really different and huge in what they're doing, because the research is being done. There are many organizations that are doing the research, raising the funds, and that's great. And I continue to support those as well. But Bras Across the Causeway, here we are raising funds that are going to go directly to patients that are in the midst of a breast cancer diagnosis. And, they're struggling to make a car payment. We can help.
Yeah.
They're struggling with food on the table. We can help. They need things for the kids at school. Bras Across the Causeway. That's what their purpose is. Their mission is to go straight to the patients. It's not about, let's spread this money to the research. That's happening in the world, and we all continue to support that. Last year, I ran for the first time the Donna 26.2 over in Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
It is probably the marathon for breast cancer. She raises money. She's a breast cancer survivor herself and helps raise the money to go to research. And that's important. But again, Bras Across the Causeway locally here in Mobile, we're facing it. We're in September. We're going for October the 12th for that event at the Battleship. And everybody needs to come out and support it.
100%. And I think you nailed it when you also talked about that. Whereas we get to watch the survivors walk or run, and you're just like, wow, so many in our community. It's, man,
It's crazy. When I got diagnosed, I reached out to a friend whose sister-in-law had breast cancer. And I had seen that she had been to MD Anderson, so I wanted some information from her. Well, it turned out that when I got diagnosed, she got diagnosed a second time.
wow.
So I met my friend Sandy. We talked. We shared information. We're still friends today. She comes out to Bras Across the Causeway every year. But yeah, it's crazy how since my diagnosis, unfortunately, I've met and I know way too many men and women who get a diagnosis of breast cancer.
Yeah.
People think breast cancer is just women. It is not. Sure, it is not. Cancer in general does not discriminate.
Yeah.
It doesn't say it's going to be a male or a female cancer. It's going to impact whoever it's going to impact.
Yeah.
And it's just sad how many people I know that have been impacted by. And so to me, continuing to do the support of the different events, whether it's going to research or going directly to the patients, that's important to me.
Absolutely.
And here, keeping it local, Baldwin and Mobile County, Bras Across the Causeway, they have my support constant.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, my husband with our restaurants. So I think it's at Seafood Shed over there in Spanish Fort. That's where we do our after party. And our company is a huge supporter of Bras Across the Causeway. So it's important because of my personal journey, but it's important because of what that organization, what their mission is.
Yeah.
Helping local patients that need the help.
Absolutely. Because they should only have to focus on fighting for their health, not fighting all the other things.
Yes, 100%. And I can tell you, as a person who's been there in that position, you know, when I was going through it, dealing with insurance phone calls, I have a cancer policy that I had and never thought I would need. Calling the insurance company to talk about submitting paperwork that they need. And they're saying, you don't have a diagnosis. And I'm like, I've submitted everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sitting here 4 weeks into my chemo and you're telling me I'm bald, but I don't have cancer.
Yeah.
Well, what do I have?
Right.
You know? And it's frustrating and upsetting as a patient. We shouldn't worry about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But unfortunately, that's there. So if the mission of Bras Across the Causeway can take a little bit off of the patient,
Absolutely.
if they're having any kind of financial need. I think recently, Kathy, who runs Bras Across the Causeway, she's absolutely amazing. Love that woman. She just told me not too long ago, probably a couple weeks ago, that they were giving a woman some money to help her, gift cards and such, to help her get stuff for the children for school. She was taking care of an electric bill. And the organization helps in that fashion. And they'll get the information, and Kathy will go directly to the electric company and take care of it.
Wow.
So it's not that the patients are just saying, we need money. It's not that. It's,
Right. These are things to survive.
what do you need to survive?
Yeah.
And when there's a determining factor, like I can't get treatment because I have to work,
Right.
right? Because if I stop working to get treatment, I can't afford to pay my house payment.
Right.
Well, that's when the organization's able to step up and help.
And thank goodness we have them.
Amazing. Absolutely. Kathy is amazing. The whole organization, everybody that's involved with Bras Across the Causeway, huge kudos to them.
Yeah.
And I'm forever a supporter.
Same girl. Same.
Yeah.
So there have been some tough lessons, obviously, that you've learned from running, but also some joyous ones. So what are some of those?
Oh my gosh, joyous lessons that I've learned. To me, I would get competitive with people and be like, I want to be fast like her. And it's not about that. Running taught me that go at your own pace, raise your pace, have patience.
That's good. Yeah.
When I was first starting, I wanted to be a runner. I didn't want to walk. But I will say, through all of this running that I've done, I've learned that it's okay to walk.
Yeah.
Jeff Galloway is another big figure in the running community, and I started reading up on his run-walk method. And I was like, oh, well, if I do this, it will possibly keep me from being injured. I went to his running school. He did a little running class down in Gulf Shores. He did that running class in 2017, and I went to it.
Wow.
And I got to run a 5K with this man, and I was so excited because I'm like, he was an Olympian runner. you know?
Right.
And he's the big Red Disney guru, if you will. So I was super excited. It's like meeting a celebrity star. Here's my celebrity star.
Yeah.
He's a runner. But I did his class in 2017. In 2018, a friend that I made there that in 2017 went back in 2018, and he asked about me. And she said she can't be here this year because she's going through breast cancer. And she said, would you mind making a video for her so I could send it to her?
Oh.
And I still have it.
Oh.
When Jeff Galloway sent me this video talking to me about keeping up my spirits through breast cancer and keep active as much as you can, and you'll be back out there. And so every year I go to the Disney runs, and I make a point to go see my buddy Jeff Galloway.
Oh, I love that.
I can see him, and I always remind him who I am and remember me from it, and show him my video, and we get our yearly pictures together.
That's
But
amazing.
a lot of good has come from running for me. I just learned a lot about myself. I'm capable of more than I ever thought I was capable of. I always looked at running as, this is really hard. I can't do that. And I've learned that, yeah, you can. Take it in baby steps, small strides, and you will overcome. And that was the same thing with breast cancer for me. Overcomer was a big, word, song, the Mandisa song.
Sure, yes.
I listened to that every morning on a Tuesday because Tuesday was chemo day. Man, I would listen to Overcomer and dance to that song in my bathroom. Getting ready. Just knowing that you can overcome things. There's going to be obstacles that present themselves in your life, but it doesn't mean that you need to stop everything. Work through it, you'll overcome it. So learning to run, work through it, you'll overcome it. And I learned how to run. Again, I'm not a fast one. And now I run walk more than anything. Sure. But I start and I finish. And that's always my goal.
Yeah.
The community, amazing. The support, the friendship, the camaraderie that I've found in running has been amazing. So still just try to get out there.
I love that. That's so
One
good.
day, one race, matter of fact, yesterday, and I have 2 dogs, like I said. I take them walking often. And I've recently picked up a love for hiking.
Oh, yeah.
And as my husband said, I go full throttle. Well, now I want to hike the Appalachian Trail.
Of course you do.
So do you want to go hiking? I mean, it's a little further than a marathon.
I love that. I believe you can do it.
A couple of miles.
Yeah. I believe you can do it. So I have to know, what is your favorite race?
So in my life so far, of what I've accomplished, all of my firsts were my favorites. All of them. And I would say that half marathon in Point Clear, the holiday half, although it was my first half marathon. So that was one of my favorites as far as just I accomplished this task that I never dreamed I'd be able to do in my life. Sure. But I'd say my favorite just because race is All my Disneys, of course, they're always my favorite. I'm a big Disney fanatic. By the way, my daughter works at Disney. So I kid. My son, he didn't get it, but that's not his thing. But that's okay. My daughter is down there. But my all-time favorite race, I would have to say, is the Louisiana Half Marathon.
That's a good one.
Have you been?
Yeah.
Okay. The after party of the half marathon?
Legit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I paid a little extra because I wanted that VIP and I wanted the good food and the good stuff over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But in that VIP, I got myself a 15-minute massage
Oh.
after my half marathon.
Okay.
Hands down worth that VIP. I don't know. It was like maybe $70 extra, right? I will gladly always do that. But then they have this amazing, they have music happening. They've had the stop group. I don't know. Were you there when they had the stop group?
No, but yeah. But my favorite was when they had king cake. When they have king cake after, I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, but the run itself has great community involvement.
Oh yeah.
People on the streets, some of them are dressed up in costumes. A guy was dressed up in a banana suit, handing out half a banana. I was like, what is this? He's dressed up.
Yeah.
And he's just a spectator.
And parts of that run make you feel like you're running in Mobile. With the old tree.
They do.
And just some of the houses that you're looking at, you're like, this feels like home.
Right.
Like,
And you're running straight through the LSU campus,
Yes.
you know. So that was pretty cool.
oh, for sure.
That was really, really cool. The community, I think that community's involvement for me out there. And then that half the party was just so big
I agree. Yeah.
and so fun and lively. Because there was this group there of, I think they were called Stomp something. I can't think of the name of the group, but it was a group of guys and they wear these certain outfits. They're all up there dancing. And then they get out there and they start grabbing people and dancing with them. And my friend Kelly and I had a ball. It was
Of course
just,
you did.
you know, it was a great time. And it was her birthday weekend. So it was a big Runcation birthday celebration. So can't go
So
wrong.
fun. Good.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your pre and post race routines. Do you have any?
Minimal.
That's fair.
My pre-race routine, I like to have my race outfit laid out, flat me, if you will.
Yeah, as I say, fly Jodi. Yeah.
I have to have it laid out. I want the bib pinned on, or now I use these cool little either bib boards or I use the magnets, either one. But I like to have that laid out, know exactly this is what I'm wearing. I like to card. So I like pasta.
Yeah.
Before.
Girl.
I'm a pasta girl. I learned when I did another great race though down in Gulf Shores. And it's just the beautiful scenic route along the beach. And it was the Sea Turtle Half Marathon.
Okay.
And I've done that one twice. Absolutely love it. But the second time I did it, I went out to eat at a restaurant. Not a good move. Not a good move. Because I ordered something with pasta, but the sauce didn't agree with me the next day.
No.
And so when I made it all the way to about mile, I guess, I don't know, probably mile 9. And I told my friend Kelly, I said, you keep running. I have to stop at the porta potty. I despise that, but my tummy's having troubles.
Yeah.
She refused to keep running. So she stopped, waited for me, and then we kept going. And I told her, I said, my tummy's not feeling well. She's like, let's go.
Yeah.
We got it. And she kept me going. And I finished. But yeah, I was like, okay, pretty bland. I'm a pretty bland pasta gal.
Okay.
The night before, nothing major with major sauces. I'm not a big meat eater, so that just doesn't excite me. Yeah, so that's pretty much just having everything ready. And then the morning of, get up, get ready to go run. Before I leave my house, I like to have either a bagel or an English muffin with some peanut butter. And I'm not a coffee drinker, so it's not a major, like I have to have that cup of coffee. Or I'll have some kind of accelerate or something. Mix with water, some pre-workout drink as I'm driving to where I'm going. That's kind of it. It's kind of simple.
Hey, simple is good.
It's not detailed.
So what is your favorite running item? Like you will not run without this item.
I will not run without it. My running belt.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I can't. My running belt holds my fuel.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I could do without anything else. But my running belt, I have to.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
I like that.
The other thing I would say would have to be my watch. And when I first started and I got involved with it, I got a Garmin right away. and I used my Garmin. I loved my Garmin. I didn't feel like I knew how to use it 100%.
Sure.
But I knew it enough to do what I needed it to do, which was keep my time and my pace and that.
Yeah.
So I haven't used my Garmin in a while. I probably need to pull it back out. I've been using my Apple Watch. And then, of course, I always have my phone in my running belt. But my running belt is a great, simple, inexpensive. I bought it when I started this whole adventure. And it just holds what I need.
There you go.
So I go, yeah.
All right. That's a great answer. It's a great answer.
I mean, besides, I must
good.
have my running shoes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's going to be our next question. So
those are important.
those are important. What do you run in?
I've run in a lot of things.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've gone this journey of running and this journey of shoes. And so currently I'm running in a pair of Saucony Trials 21.
Okay.
And then I have a pair of, I can't even think of the name of them. Well, they're Asics,
Okay.
but I can't think of the name. But then I also have a whole collection of Hokas.
Hey.
I've run in a lot of Hokas, and once the tread is down and I'm not running in them, I'll use them for just running to the store. Sure. And like every so I still like the Hokas.
Yeah.
I'm due for a new pair of shoes.
There you go.
I might have to go shopping before Bras Across the Causeway. Because you gotta be pink.
That's right.
And I do like
Absolutely.
my shoes on those particular events to be the color of my outfit, and I will be all pink.
I love that.
Yeah.
For your longer runs, what do you like to fuel with?
Yes. I will have everything from a little, which this is my friend Kelly got in my head with this, is when we would do the half marathons, she would always pack us a small PB&J.
Is it?
And I can't chew when I run a PB&J. I feel like my mouth is just sitting with this big sandwich in there, and I can't swallow. I have a hard time. But she would tell me, keep going. It's going to help fuel your body. And it really did. So I try to bring a half of one of those.
Okay.
I mean, if I'm going on a super long run, yes, I'll bring a half of one of those. I'll bring some of those gummies or the sport beans, maybe the sport blocks, something like that, along with my hydration. So
That's good. That sounds really good.
Yeah.
You got the carbs, the peanut butter, all the things.
And running, usually if I'm running a race and we have people watching, spectators, I tell them, I want a peanut butter jelly sandwich on the race. Please bring it to me.
And cuties. Oh, that's good.
I love cuties. Now that I can consume on the race, no problem. It's that bread on the...
Yeah.
So I ran Princess in Disney this year in February with my daughter. It was her first half marathon. And so jokingly, I said, tell your boyfriend when he's on the sidelines, he needs to have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches somewhere, like around mile 5, 6. That'd be beneficial.
Yeah.
So we get into the Magic Kingdom. We're running down Main Street, and her boyfriend and his friend are standing there with signs that say PB&Js for their majesties.
Oh.
And it was Princess, of course.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
so me, I was Rapunzel. My daughter was Mary Poppins. And my friend Kelly, who I've mentioned a couple times, she was Cinderella. So we all show up, and he hands us each a Ziploc bag with a full PB&J, but on the bag he writes, Mary Poppins, Cinderella,
Stop
our
it.
name.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, he's that is so cool. He follows instructions well.
Yeah.
I'm seriously
And win
joking.
extra. And win extra.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, he had signs.
I love
There were
that.
4 different signs that they made. The 2 guys made these signs.
Oh.
My sign that his buddy made was a gas gauge,
Mm-hmm.
and it had the gas gauge at full, and it said, "This is how Jodi lives life to the fullest."
Did you keep that sign?
I think he has it.
Okay.
I don't think I have it. I should have it in my home gym though.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
That is so sweet.
And then there was another one. I'm trying to think. I can't think of that one. Just caught my eye. It was just like, oh my goodness, who made this sign? That's amazing. Yeah, put an effort into that.
Yeah.
You know, wow, it was really special.
Ooh. You talked a lot about running with people. Do you ever run with music?
I do run with music.
Okay. What's your running playlist?
Oh God. So I have to have Mandisa Overcome.
Yes. It's a great
And if
song.
I could time it out according to when I think I'll cross that finish line, that is the song that I want to hear when I'm crossing that finish line. If it doesn't time out that way, it's okay, because in the middle of my runs, when that comes on, it's usually at a point where I'm like, oh my gosh, am I going to make this? And so it really lifts me up. So Mandisa Overcomer is always on there. And then I have lots of old school. So, you know, who doesn't love Eye of the Timer?
That's right. Yeah.
Just really everything and anything. Anything with a good, fast beat. One of my favorite songs, and I'm not good with artists. So musical artists, can't tell you, except for Mandisa, obviously.
That's right. Yeah.
But I can't tell you about artists who sings these songs. But I love the song that talks about I could walk 500 miles or 5,000 miles. 500.
Okay.
That. Anyhow. So this is just a variety. It's just a good variety of upbeat jams, but not one particular. I'm not a rock and roll girl.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And when I'm running, country doesn't do it for me. You know?
Okay.
I love lots of music, but for running, it has to be a good upbeat rhythm.
Okay. I like it. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm with you.
And when I'm running with friends, if I'm running with friends, I have the shocks, so they're the bone conduction names. So it's good that I can hear people talking and I can still hear a little bit of music. Yeah.
I love that. That's good. So good. You talked about an ice bath.
Yes.
So do you still do ice baths? Do you have something else they do for recovery?
So that was marathon,
Okay.
and that was much
You sure? Sure.
after the half marathons, I've done them, but I don't feel like I need them as much. My all-time after the run, what I would love for them to start handing out, if anybody's listening, that puts on these runs.
Would be massages.
Oh, massages. Yes. Yes. Give us some
We're going. Okay.
That's not what I was going to say. They always give out beer and water, which is great for those who love beer.
Yeah.
I love the water. But chocolate milk,
Oh, that's a good one.
I have to put in my cooler and put it in the car.
Oh.
A Hershey's chocolate milk
Okay.
and a banana. Because those are my musts after I finish a race.
Yeah.
Because when I run a race before, my very first half marathon, it was beer and pizza. And that was working for me. Sure. And I was like, okay, well, I don't drink beer, so that's a no. And the pizza after a run, I'm just not feeling it.
Sure.
So really, I like my chocolate milk. Now, I will say, Bras Across the Causeway, they have Cammy's Dutch, old Dutch ice cream,
Yes, girl.
and they serve it with a waffle.
So it's divine. It was my favorite thing. Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
I can have that in place of my chocolate milk and have my chocolate milk when I get home.
There we go. Yeah.
It's really good.
Oh, it's chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cross training. You mentioned Orange Theory. Are you still doing Orange Theory, or do you do something else with cross
Sorry, I
training?
stopped Orange Theory when I got my diagnosis.
Okay.
I was doing that faithfully. I feel like that definitely helped me in many ways, weightlifting and the rowing and the running. But I had to stop because of the likelihood of getting sick with my compromised immune system. But I played with going back and forth, going back there, and I haven't rejoined. Still good friends with a lot of people there. I just, right now, it's what I have at home. I've got a treadmill. I have weights. I have a stair stepper mixed with an elliptical.
Okay.
So one of those machines. So I've got that stuff at home. So I've not joined a gym yet. I've just been doing my thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And recently, my friend Missy, who was my boot camp instructor, who then became a very good friend of mine, is now teaching, giving instruction at the YMCA
Wow. Yeah.
in the nighttime classes, because she also works during the day. But she's phenomenal. So I think I'd go back to the Y here in Daphne.
Yeah.
I feel like I can go there anytime and use the equipment anytime.
Yeah.
There's no limits. And then they offer the body pump classes with the weights. They offer the Pilates. Missy's doing a boot camp class. They've got every piece of equipment you can imagine. And again, it's open for whatever time I want to go. So I just feel like there's no limits. And I think that's where I'm going to go back.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's so good.
My husband's been consistent. He has been working out now probably since, I guess it was December of last year. And he's been so consistent. He's been inspiring me. He always tells me, you're an inspiration to some men. And I'm like, dude, you're inspiring me, but I'm still struggling. Like,
Yeah.
So we went to Chicago in May, and we ran in Chicago, which so beautiful to run there. So very beautiful. It was our friend's birthday, and it was a run weekend. And he's a runner, our friend. He's a big runner. Robert's done all of the big 6 marathons. And so he's like, you guys come for my birthday? We're going to do a run. And I'm like, of course, let's do this. So that was the last time I did an official registered race, was in May. And whereas Pete did that race with me, and for the guy, my husband, who's not a runner, by the way, he did that race with me, that 5K, and he killed it. And I was like, don't you want to walk? Don't you want to walk? And he's like, I'm fine.
Wow. Yeah.
So I was so impressed and so happy for him to be at this new place with his own health and fitness. And so now he's inspiring me because you get on a struggle bus sometimes.
Yeah,
It's not so easy to get out there. And the summer's been hot. Who wants to get out there in this heat?
Yeah.
Not me. So instead of running, I went hiking last March. And that's where I found this love of hiking. And like my husband said, I go full in.
Yeah.
Now I want to do long distances. I have to find people who like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've been doing more of that kind of stuff lately with my dogs. And now that we're getting these cooler fall temps, being like 72-ish, I'm like, okay, I think I'm going to get back to the running. And I need to. Like my sister texted me today, and she said she walked 5 miles.
Wow. Yeah.
And I'm so proud of her because you know, everybody has their different goals of what they're doing. And I said, oh my goodness, thank you. I'm doing 5 today. She said, you're doing 5. I said, I don't care if I walk it.
Yeah.
I just have to do 5 miles. You're inspiring me. I did 3.2 yesterday with my dogs in Village Point Preserve here in Daphne. Have you ever been there?
No, but I saw your pictures. Yeah.
Hit me up anytime you want to go. It's amazing. I love it.
Jodi, this has been amazing. Oh, any final words of wisdom?
Oh my goodness. To me, I just like to tell people, think about what you want for your goals in your life and what you want to obtain, and just set small obtainable goals to reach over the big goal.
Yeah.
Whether it's running a mile, start small, running 5 miles, whether it's even with running, if it's just, hey, I'm trying to eat healthier to lose a little bit of weight. Sure. Set the small goals that are more obtainable. Because I think too often we set these big lofty goals.
Yeah.
And then we don't work on the smaller components to get there. And ultimately, we don't reach that big goal. And then we're mad at ourselves and depressed or whatever. So just to do that. And every day's a gift. We know what we get when we wake up breathing the oxygen. We have a gift. You know, take it, live your life to your fullest. Make sure to spend time with family and friends. Make sure to tell those close to you love them. And just don't take anything for granted.
Jodi, you are absolutely amazing. Thank you. Absolutely amazing. And thank you for sharing your story and the highlights. And I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited that I've gotten to know you more through this. And just, girl, I think you can do anything.
Well, thank you. I feel like that most of the time. Some days I'm questioning it, but hey,
No.
I just did anything, Jodi. Or I don't know. Oh, thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Didn't you just love Jodi and just her personality and her fight against breast cancer? And she continues to keep that legacy of being an overcomer and a fighter by she continues to share about her story. And I appreciate that. She's such a huge advocate. And I'm so thankful to know her. I'm so thankful that she beat breast cancer. And again, to all the warriors fighting, I see you. We as a community see you. We hear you, and we are cheering for you. And signing up for Bras Across the Causeway and Strides Against Breast Cancer, that is such a great way for us as a community to come together and support our warriors. Whether you're locally at the state or outside of Alabama, I definitely encourage you to look at Bras Across the Causeway and Strides Against Breast Cancer, or in your own area. Find out how you can support the warriors that are fighting for their lives, because as Jodi and I talk about, it's one thing to, yes, you're fighting, but one of the things that Bras Across the Causeways does is that they say, hey, we're going to help you with that grocery bill, or we're going to help you with that mortgage or that car note, or whatever it is that they need right now. It should be one less burden taken off of them. And so definitely supporting Bras Across the Causeway is such an amazing organization and an amazing way to give back to our community. Strides Against Breast Cancer, again, state level. They help everyone throughout the state of Alabama, and that includes our local area as well. And they have an event coming up at the end of this month that you guys will definitely want to check out as well. You can go to both of those things on social media. You can also check them out on their websites. Bras Across the Causeway, definitely this weekend. Again, there's a virtual run and there is an in-person. definitely give back, guys. It's worth it. Absolutely. Cannot say enough great things. And again, thank you to Strides Against Breast Cancer for what you do in helping everyone at the state level. And guys, you can look them up as well. It's Strides Against Breast Cancer Mobile. You can just Google that and it's there. It'll take you there. So sign up. I'm on Team Bougie. Yeah, Team Bougie. Love that. And we are going to be there. So doing what we can. And speaking of doing what we can, special shout out and thank you to Eastern Shore Chiropractic for allowing Jodi and I to swing by. Since Jodi lives across the bay, my boss was kind enough to allow us to take up a room and to share her story. So I really appreciate Eastern Shore Chiropractic. If you guys need some help with that running, some recovery, definitely check us out. Love Eastern Shore Chiropractic. And so thankful for them and thankful for Mars Hill. Even though we couldn't be there to record that day, I'm so thankful to know that we have such a place that we can go and record. And thank you to Greg Gilliard, who has been working endlessly and tirelessly, oh my goodness, to try to fix our website that was spammed and hacked and all the things. And he has not been sleeping because he has been working hard. So trying to get that done. Super thankful for him and for keeping up with our website and realizing it when it happened, but also for editing our podcast. He does such a great job of making us all sound good. When I need those moments to collect my thoughts or when things get emotional, he does such a great job of helping to edit that. So kudos to Greg Gilliard and Gilliard Tech Services for all that you do for our running community, but also for the community. Guys, definitely check him out for your website needs. To our Patreon supporters, I absolutely love you and thank you so much, especially this month. You guys have been so supportive of making sure that we take care of our warriors who are fighting. And so special shout out to our Patreon supporters. I absolutely love you guys and I think the world of you. Make sure you like, share, and comment Jodi's story because it needs to be heard. It needs to be shared. It's incredible and so thankful to have gotten to know her and thankful to Kathy and Bras Across the Causeway for introducing us. Definitely, guys, go sign up. You're going to have a blast. The after party is legit. I'm so sad to miss it, because it's one of my favorite races and I absolutely love it. And Cammy's ice cream's gonna be there. And you guys know how much I like Cammy's ice cream. So definitely go check them out. All right, guys, until next time, go run your story because every story needs to be heard.